History of nuclear chemistry. In 1895, Wilhelm discovered ionizing radiation by passing an electric current through an evacuated glass tube and producing continuous X-rays. Ionizing radiation has more energy than non-ionizing radiation, enough to cause chemical changes by breaking chemical bond. This effect can cause damage to living tissue, especially DNA. 1896, Henry found that pitch blende caused a photographic plate to darken. He went on to demonstrate that this was due to beta radiation and alpha particles being emitted. Villard found a third type of radiation, gamma rays, which were much the same as X-rays, which are waves of energy that travel at the speed of light and have very similar strength. Hans Strassmann showed that fission not only released a lot of energy, but that it also released additional neutrons which could cause more fission. Stable nuclei has enough binding energy to hold the nucleus together permanently. Binding energy is a force that holds the nucleus. Unstable nuclei. Strong nuclear forces do not generate enough binding energy to hold the nucleus permanently. It is radioactive and referred to as radioactive nuclei. Nuclear fission, also known as splitting the atom. An atom splits into two or more smaller atoms, releasing a large amount of energy. Fission is easy to control, but it is also a nuclear waste. Nuclear fusion. Atoms coming together to form one, slamming hydrogen ions to form helium, overcome the repulsive forces. This requires a lot of energy. Fusion is cleaner and powerful. Nuclear fusion naturally occurs in the sun or H-bomb.
Atomic bomb has a nuclear fission. The isotopes uranium-235 and plutonium-239 were selected by the atomic scientists because they readily undergo fission. The fission process becomes self-sustaining as neutrons produced by the splitting of atoms strike nearby nuclei and produce more fission. This is known as a chain reaction and is what causes an atomic explosion. When uranium-235 atom absorbs a neutron and fission into two new atoms, it releases 3 neutrons and some binding energy. 2 neutrons do not continue the reaction because they are lost or absorbed by uranium-238 atom. However, 1 neutron does collide with an atom of uranium-235 which then fissions and releases 2 neutrons and some binding energy. Both of those neutrons collide with uranium-235 atoms, each of which fission and release between 1 and 3 neutrons and so on. This causes a nuclear chain reaction. The purpose of atomic bomb are for warfare, threaten someone like China, Europe, or Korea, and to end the war quickly. Now that the two world powers had the bomb, it became apparent that a nuclear war would be devastating for both sides, and so the policy of mutually assured destruction or MAD became the norm. This means that if one side launches weapons, the other side does too, and both sides are destroyed. No one wins, everyone loses. And that's the main purpose of nuclear weapons today. No one can afford to give them up, so no one does. Aim at each other in hopes they never have to pull the trigger.
The atomic bomb benefits the US because only a couple of nations have nuclear weapons. The US and Russia are one of the most to have weapons, as France, China, United Kingdom, and Pakistan have more than 100 weapons. Nuclear weapons can cause a problem like World War I and World War II. The effect in nuclear warfare is heat is million degrees centigrade Fahrenheit, which buildings can collide. The instant death is buildings colliding, killed by a blast, and the immediate death rate is 90%. The short suffering is being in flames, and heat flash vaporizing human tissue. The long-term effect is radiation exposure and the increase in cancer rate in the survivors. During the atomic bombs,